How's it going, everyone? Mega Man here to talk about the recent patch notes for an upcoming patch that will be going live this Thursday. Apparently this is going to be a very big patch. There are a lot of bug fixes as usual, but there are also going to be a few big hero changes as well as a few big general changes that will affect every hero. So I'll be discussing the most important changes, how I feel about them, and how I think the changes will affect the game. I'm also going to have a link to the patch notes in the description. This way you guys can read the notes word for word. As for the gameplay, I just have a couple of duels playing since I can't show the patch changes. And also I'm going to be speaking freely for most of this video, so the audio quality is not going to be as great. Just so you guys know. Okay, so to kick things off, unlock tech fixes. Unlocked attacks can no longer become unparryable. Players were able to elect to launch attacks without having a target locked, and if they performed this in a particular way, the attack would still be aimed at you, but you could not parry it. We fixed this by forcing the system to aim directly at a nearby target. So, they're adding a system, basically, if you unlock, you can't really change the direction of your attack slightly to the point where people can't parry it by... I guess the system just kind of forces your attack to go to the target you were originally aiming at. So this is a really nice change because I'm sure we've all seen the video of that tournament that the Nobushi player played, and he unlocked, you know, the entire tournament for 99% of his attacks and won the entire tournament. So I'm glad they're finally changing this. As for the next change, this is the one I'm really happy about. I'm sure a lot of people are happy about, which is the zone attack flicker. We have removed flicker observed when launching zone attacks. So flicker was observed when an opponent starts an attack from one stance, then immediately cancels it into the zone attack. You will see the first red attack indicator, then it will immediately change direction to the zone attack's direction. Flicker happened because we wanted to be lenient on the zone attack's inputs. We tested removing this leniency in the previous public test server build, and we learned that players found that the reduced leniency on zone attack inputs didn't make a significant negative impact on players, but it had a huge positive impact by removing the flicker. So flicker's been in the game since launch, and basically it made certain characters with really fast zone attacks just completely ridiculous. Like, we all know Peacekeeper, her zone attack's already ridiculously fast as it is, but to flicker it on top of that is, you know, just terrible. And Orochi, who also has a really fast zone attack, is actually going to be indirectly nerfed because of this, because the zone attack is pretty much his only other fast attack. So yeah, Orochi's gonna get a stealth nerf. Next change is for host advantage. We fixed the issue where if two opponents hit specific abilities at the exact same time against each other, one player would be awarded the hit and the other would be hit. So this affects Raider's Stampede Charge, Lawbringer's Long Arm, Lawbringer's Sprint Attack, Shinobi's Tackle, Centurion's Charged Heavies, Charged Finishers, and Jab, and Gladiator's Skewer. So basically what this is that if two of these specific moves were to connect between two players, and one of them is the host, if they were to hit at the exact same time, the host would win it every single time. This is probably something you've rarely encountered, but it's still nice that they're fixing it for those very rare situations where it does happen. The next change, I'm not sure exactly what this means, but it says it's a bug fix. So it says optimize the attack UI feedback so it appears as soon as possible. Now I think this means that some players have had some inconsistencies where they would record a character's attacks, and depending on the latency between the two players, certain attacks would be faster than they are supposed to be. So, like, just in case of Orochi, if he does his top light attack, which is normally 500 milliseconds, in these rare situations, it would be 400 milliseconds, which is, you know, that's as fast as Peacekeeper's zone attack. So in the same sense, if Peacekeeper does her zone attack, which is 400 milliseconds, and this bug happens, then her zone attack can be 300 milliseconds. And that's pretty ridiculous. I don't know how you would ever deal with that. So I think that's what this is, and I'm really glad they're changing it. Alright, so now on to the big changes, which are the hero balance changes. So I want to talk about the most needed one, which is the Centurion nerfs. So I'll just go down the list of everything. So charged heavy attack range decreased to 4.5 meters from 5 meters. Charged heavy finisher range decreased to 4.75 meters from 5.75 meters. Uncharged heavy finisher link into jab delayed by 100 milliseconds. So this is one that I think is actually on the PTS right now. And that basically means that if you get a fully charged... Oh, an uncharged heavy finisher. Oh, okay. Uncharged heavy. Okay, so yeah, there was actually a bug where if you get an uncharged heavy, that really fast follow-up heavy attack, you would actually get a guaranteed jab after it. So this is... They're delaying the jab by 100 ms, so it's not guaranteed anymore. So that makes sense. Normal stamina drain... Normal jab stamina drain decreased to 30 from 40. That's fine. That's 40 is a lot of stamina, so 30 is still a lot, but whatever. Normal jab miss recovery shortened to 700 ms from 800. So he recovers a little faster if he misses a jab. But 700 is still pretty long, but not every character is going to be able to punish it. Legion kick does not stun anymore. Stun is just like a blind. You know, like Raider's stunning tap blinds you. When the jab hits you, I'm pretty sure it blinds you, if I'm not mistaken. But the kick no longer blinds you, and that was because they said it was too strong in 4v4 modes, and you could just have a Centurion just kicking somebody over and over and over, and they lose. You can't see anything. Eagle's Talon stamina cost increased to 20 from 12. That's fine. I guess that's fine. Jab stamina cost of 12 now works correctly. I don't know what that means, but it says it's a bug fix, so okay. And then finally, jabs do not stagger on wall anymore. That's probably the biggest nerf. Because, you know, he used to have a wall infinite where he could just punch you in the wall, heavy attack, punch you in the wall, heavy attack, punch you, blah blah blah. And now that's not going to work anymore, so these are some pretty fantastic changes in my opinion. And the stamina changes are kind of irrelevant in my opinion, but the kick not stunning anymore, the jab's not staggering anymore, and the heavy finisher not guaranteeing a jab anymore, I think are the best changes. Fairly necessary in my opinion. So the next changes are actually to the Warlord, and they're like un-nerfs, or yeah, un-nerfs, I'll just say that even though it's not a word. But headbutt timing reverted to pre-patch 1.13 values. It means the dodge forward into headbutt timing now starts at 100 ms again, which it was 300. So they un-nerfed Warlord. Great. Dodge recovery duration shortened from 700 ms to 600 ms. Light side attacks damage increased to 13 from 12 to 1 point. Counter stab damage increased from 12 to 10. So the counter stab, I think, is that little poke you do after the parry attack. So that means if you do the parry stab, which is 12, and then do the light side light, it does 13, so that's 25. That'll kill somebody if they're on their last bar of health. So that's pretty interesting. So at least he has a better way of taking out somebody when they're about to die. The dodge recovery, I think it's fine that they changed to 600. It was mostly because it was 500 that it was way too strong. But yeah, the headbutt change, I'm not so sure about that one. Because in my opinion, the strongest thing about Warlord's headbutt is the speed of it. Because it was so fast, he could use it as an opener. He can use it as a counterattack move. You know, like, he didn't even have to attack you. He could just do his headbutt because it's 500 milliseconds in total. So it's just as fast as any of the fastest light attacks in the game. And not only that, when you just see a Warlord move, you just assume it's going to be a headbutt because it just comes out so fast. You can't really react to it a lot of times, you just have to predict it. And that type of threat with a move is not fun to play against. It's like when I fight against a Warlord, I don't even fear him, I fear the headbutt. It's always a threat. It stops everything. It's actually, you know, it's the fastest unblockable move in the game. You know, on par with Shinobi's forward kick, which is also 500 milliseconds. But Shinobi's forward kick has the tell that, you know, when he double dodges, that's, you know, okay, a kick's probably gonna come, right? But with Warlord, it's just, he stands there and then a headbutt comes out of nowhere. It's not really a fun thing to play against, and I hope they at least tone it down a bit to 200 millisecond delay instead of 100, because 100's like nothing, come on, let's be honest. But they increased that 100 to 300, so that was a big change. But if they just changed it to 200, I think that would be hopefully fine. But as it stands now, it looks like they're just gonna return it back to how it was. So we're gonna get good old Warlord back, good old top tier Warlord, stir dude. Anyway, enough of my mumbling. The final change, which is actually a direct buff and not like an unnerf as the Warlord got, is to Shinobi. So Shinobi double dodge stamina cost decreased to 24, which it was 29. Double dodge kick stamina cost decreased to 10 from 20. That's a pretty big change. That means you can basically do twice as many kicks. The backflip stamina cost decreased to 12 from 17. Front roll stamina cost decreased to 12 from 17. And then the obvious one, not the obvious one, but the first of the important changes is that his reflex guard duration is increased to 800 milliseconds from 600. So his guard lasts 200 milliseconds more, which is a pretty big change. I'm not sure if that's how fast or how long the other assassins' guards stay up, but that's gonna be a pretty nice quality of life thing for Shinobi. But on top of that, on top of the guard lasting longer, Shinobi is getting a health increase from 90 up to 110. Shinobi's health was actually the reason he's so, like, difficult to play, because you make one mistake, or two mistakes, sorry, and half the characters can just two-shot you, and that feels really bad as a Shinobi player. Let's be honest, like the devs used to say, like, Raider countered Peacekeeper, but, like, Raider counters Shinobi. Let's be honest. 2 top heavies and Shinobi is done for from Raider. And with the rest of the characters, it's usually like 3 heavy attacks, because most heavy attacks do around 30. So, you know, 30 times 3, 90, boom, Shinobi's dead. Basically, the extra 20 health in most matchups means that Shinobi is going to survive 1 more heavy attack, which is the difference between winning and losing, let's be honest. And this is a really big change for Shinobi. I actually think Shinobi might be the best character. Now, don't quote me on that, but I think he definitely has potential to be the best character. I mean, obviously Warlord's up there. He's got the health. He's got the everything of Warlord, you know. He's just the Warlord, but Shinobi, he has pretty much everything too, to be honest. It was just his health. And that extra 20 health, we'll see if it actually does play a significant part in you know, how he places against the other characters. So overall, the Centurion nerfs, I like them. The stamina cost changes are kind of like, it's like Centurion has like, I think 160 stamina, which is like, most characters have 120, so a lot of these stamina cost changes for him don't really matter. But the fact that a jab isn't going to connect, a fully charged jab isn't going to connect on a heavy finisher anymore, that's a pretty big one. And the kick not stunning anymore and the jab not wall staggering anymore, those are pretty big changes. They're definitely going to lower Centurion on the tier list and make him not one-shot anything anymore. Like how it is now, Centurion, if he gets a charge heavy on you, he gets the Eagle's Talon because he gets the jab. So basically, a charged heavy attack from Centurion is like 60 damage. You know who else does 60 damage on a charged heavy? Shigoki. But anyway, the Warlord changes, like I said. The headbutt is the only thing I don't agree with. Everything else, it doesn't really matter. Honestly, with Warlord, you could have kept everything. You could have never nerfed him, but only nerfed the headbutt, and I would have been just fine with that. And as for the Shinobi buff, it's very much needed. I don't think he needed the stamina decrease on all these moves. I think it's just going to make him more, like, annoying. He's just going to spam things more, like unblockables and flips and shit. So, like, I don't think they need to reduce the stamina of things, but the health increase and the guard change increase are A+ in my opinion. He definitely needs that, and I'm definitely looking forward to playing more Shinobi in the future. Anyway guys, that's going to be it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Comment and let me know what you guys think about this. I always enjoy hearing all of your opinions. So once again, thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you in my next video.